He said, that motherfucker cold.
Come on, tell me how you wanna play it. I want it all, I just gotta say it. I took my doubts and I left it for dead. My life is a dream and it's all in my head. Come on, I had to start from the top, I had to live from the end. I write it down and I get it. Little nigga, don't you forget it. I got a mystical pen.
Yeah, it was good, y'all. It's your boy Tone, hopping straight into today's video. Here's what we're gonna talk about today. 99% of the time, the answer to your question when it comes to manifestation is usually persist. Now, 99% might be exaggerated just a little bit, but let me say this, and I'm gonna give y'all some examples. This is specifically for people who are like, you're trying to learn law of assumption without buying coaching. Because I know there's a lot of y'all, and I really cater to y'all. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna get clients regardless, but I really be trying to help y'all so you can learn the law and actually apply it. Here's what I hear the most, and this is probably gonna be, if you clicked on this video for the actual information and not just to, see my handsome face again. Here's what I hear the most. Tone, what if I'm not seeing movement with my manifestation? Persist. What if I am seeing movement, signs, dreams, X, Y, Z? What do I do? Persist until you see it, like in your physical reality. What's another one? Oh, Tone, what if I'm not seeing any signs that my self-concept is getting better? Persist. What do I do if I get discouraged or I'm upset? Persist. That's usually the answer. There's a couple other examples I'm trying to think of off top. I've seen this a lot in my coaching clients lately, and that's the other way I make my videos. I take what my coaching clients are asking me, and then I'll answer it in a video to help not only them, but to help y'all too. Feel me? It's a couple other ones I see, but I can't think of them off the top right now. And y'all know I make my videos off the hip. But yeah, I'll probably remember it later in the video, but I'm gonna tell you why the answer is to persist. Oh, that's another one. What do I do if I don't feel like I'm affirming enough? Persist. What if I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I'm still not seeing evidence? Or I'm still not seeing anything in my 3D? Persist. It's usually the answer to every fucking problem. My SP is hot and cold. What do I do? Persist. I've been saying I make X amount of dollars per month, per day, whatever, but I'm still not seeing it in my bank account. Persist. That's really the most simple part of law of assumption, but it seems to be the hardest for people to apply because they only, especially when people are new, they only want to base their thoughts on what they can physically see. And I've always said since I started coaching, this isn't a game of outside in, it's inside out. What you see in your mind ends up being reflected out there. Now, if you only base your thoughts based on what you see physically, you will repeat the same exact day and cycle over and over again in slightly different variances. For example, I've seen this a lot with specific person manifesting. What they'll do is they're like, okay, fuck the SP, fuck this specific person, I'm gonna go get a new one. And then they end up in the same situation with the new person. Why? Same fucking pattern, because they never changed. They thought changing the person would change the situation. Y'all know I'm not big on quoting Neville Goddard all the time, but really one of the main things he said that is true is there's nothing to change but self. Change your thoughts. Anyways, why persistence is the answer. Persistence is usually the answer because whatever you persist in hardens into fact. I don't give a fuck what the circumstance looks like right now. It could change tomorrow. It could change in the next few minutes. And that's the other thing. Here's the other reason why persistence is the answer. One thing that you can guarantee in life, they say death, taxes, whatever. You can guarantee in life that something's going to change. Again, some of y'all might be like, well, you just said you changed the person. Something's changing at all times. You're either getting older. You feel me? Something is changing at all times. That's what I can say. Your job is to decide which direction is it going to change in. You feel me? Am I getting older and uglier? Am I getting older and sexier? Am I getting a better version of my SP? Am I getting a better version of my business? Am I getting a better version of fill in the fucking blank? But things are always changing. Feel me? Your psyche is changing every day. Whether it's slightly different or whatever. Y'all get my point. So with that being said, with persistence, you're deciding in which direction it's going to change. Are you going to get the ideal version of your SP or the old one? Are you going to get the ideal version of your decided income? Or are you going to keep being a broke ass nigga? It's really a choice. You feel me? So the other reason persistence is important. I'm not one to, I try not to teach too much advanced shit, especially on my YouTube, TikTok. If you get to talking to me more and I can gauge where you're at mentally, I'll tell you some more advanced shit, even though it's still simple. Here's what I mean by that. The other reason I'm gonna say persistence is important. Your subconscious mind does pick up on the dominant of two ideas. And I know there's people who are more advanced that just say, I decide because I am. That works. But to explain this to someone who's brand new or doesn't or can't just instantly believe I am God or I am the universe, I have an operant power, that makes a little bit more sense to them. And to follow that up, once you get to the point where you see that persistence works and you're fully confident in how you create your reality, select your reality, whatever, you'll get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm just deciding that this is true for me now. And even then, I've always said, you're still technically persisting, maybe just not as hard as you used to. You feel me? Because there was, y'all remember there was a phase on TikTok where people were like, I just decide. Okay, well, what were you doing when the topic came up? You were still technically persisting, just not in the way that some people are. You feel me? Whether you were persisting by denying anything that wasn't true to that, whether you were persisting by saying it's already done, you were still persisting, which is why I say 99% of the time, which could be an exaggerated number, the answer is to persist. You feel me? Nothing more. Well, sometimes it could be more. Could be self-concept, could be, but usually the answer is persist. You feel me? So no matter what situation you in, if you're seeing movement, you're not seeing movement, hot and cold behavior, doubts, whatever. I'm doubting myself. What do I do when I'm doubting myself? Persist. That was another one I couldn't think of at the time. What do I do if I'm doubting? What do I do if I'm constantly having negative thoughts? What do I do if I'm experiencing intrusive thoughts? What do I do if I'm sad about SP? What do I do if movement stopped? Persist. It'll change anyway. You feel me? It's gonna change anyway. So just decide which direction it's gonna change. So hopefully that makes sense to y'all. And I know the change part might have confused y'all a little bit, but if you know, you know. If you understand what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. Anyways, babes, goodbye.